The town of Ashwood, Oregon, had a population of less than 3,000 people and only one rule that everyone followed without question: never enter Black Hollow Forest after dark. No one remembered exactly how the rule started. Some said it began after a series of disappearances in the 1950s. Others claimed the forest was cursed long before the town even existed. Whatever the reason, people stayed away from it. Parents warned their children. Hunters avoided it. Even experienced hikers refused to camp there overnight. For years, Ethan Miller thought the stories were ridiculous. At 22 years old, he considered himself practical. Ghost stories were for kids, not adults. That changed on the night his best friend vanished. It was late October. The air carried the smell of rain and dying leaves. Ethan and 3 friends, Jake, Tyler, and Sarah, were gathered around a bonfire outside town when Jake proposed a challenge. "Let's spend one night in Black Hollow," he said with a grin. Tyler laughed immediately. Sarah shook her head. "No chance." Ethan rolled his eyes. "You actually believe those stories?" Jake shrugged. "I don't believe them. That's why it'll be fun." After a few minutes of teasing and arguing, they agreed. The plan was simple. They would enter the forest before sunset, hike to the center, spend the night, and leave in the morning. Nothing more. The next evening they met at the forest entrance. The trees towered overhead like black walls. Thick branches blocked much of the fading sunlight. The deeper they walked, the quieter everything became. No birds, no insects, no rustling animals. Just silence. It felt wrong. Forests were supposed to be alive. Black Hollow felt dead. After 2 hours of hiking, they found a clearing and set up camp. The sun disappeared behind the trees. Darkness settled quickly. Around the campfire, they told jokes and shared ghost stories. Everything felt normal again. Then Sarah noticed something. "Do you guys hear that?" she asked. Everyone stopped talking. At first Ethan heard nothing. Then he noticed it. A faint sound somewhere in the distance. It almost sounded like someone whistling. Long, slow, uneven. The sound drifted through the trees before fading away. Tyler laughed nervously. Probably wind. Nobody looked convinced. For the next hour, the whistling returned several times. Each time it sounded closer. Eventually Jake stood up. "I'm going to check it out." Sarah immediately objected. "Don't be stupid." Jake smirked and grabbed a flashlight. "I'll be back in 5 minutes." He disappeared into the darkness. 5 minutes passed. Then 10. Then 20. Jake never returned. At first they assumed he was trying to scare them. Tyler shouted his name. No response. Ethan grabbed a flashlight and searched nearby trails. Nothing. The forest seemed to swallow every sound. Sarah's fear grew with every passing minute. By midnight they realized Jake was truly gone. The 3 remaining friends decided to leave immediately. They packed their gear and started back toward the entrance. After 30 minutes of walking, Ethan noticed something strange. The trail looked unfamiliar. Another 30 minutes passed. The trees remained exactly the same. Tyler checked his GPS. The screen displayed an error message. No signal. No location. The forest had become a maze. "We're lost," Sarah whispered. No one argued. Rain began falling shortly afterward. Their flashlights cut weak beams through the darkness. The deeper they walked, the more disoriented they became. Then Tyler stopped suddenly. "What is that?" Ahead of them stood a small wooden cabin. None of them had ever heard of a cabin inside Black Hollow. The structure looked ancient. Rotten wood covered the walls. Most windows were broken. A narrow porch wrapped around the front. Despite its condition, a dim yellow light glowed from inside. Ethan felt immediate unease. "We should keep moving," Sarah said. Tyler disagreed. "It's shelter." Thunder rolled across the sky. Reluctantly, they approached. The front door creaked open before anyone knocked. An old man stood inside. He appeared to be in his 70s. Thin, pale, motionless. His eyes seemed strange. Too dark. Too empty. Without speaking, he stepped aside and gestured for them to enter. The storm intensified outside. Against their better judgment, they went in. The cabin smelled of dust and mold. Old furniture filled the rooms. A fireplace crackled softly. Ethan noticed dozens of photographs hanging on the walls. At first they looked ordinary. Then he examined them more closely. Every photograph showed people standing in the forest. Some pictures looked decades old. Others appeared recent. Many of the people were smiling. Some were not. Ethan's stomach tightened. "What are these?" he asked. The old man finally spoke. "Visitors." His voice sounded weak and unnatural. Sarah stepped closer to one photograph. Her face turned white. The picture showed Jake. It had clearly been taken that night. Jake stood among the trees, staring directly at the camera. Behind him, partially hidden in darkness, stood a tall figure. A figure with impossibly long arms. Nobody spoke. The room felt suddenly colder. The old man watched them silently. "Who took this?" Ethan demanded. The old man's expression never changed. "He did." "Who?" The old man slowly pointed toward the forest outside. No one slept that night. They remained near the fireplace while the storm raged outside. Around 3 a.m., Ethan woke from a brief nap. Something felt wrong. The cabin was quiet. Too quiet. Then he realized the old man was gone. His chair sat empty. The front door stood slightly open. Cold air drifted inside. Ethan immediately woke Sarah and Tyler. The 3 of them searched the cabin. No sign of the old man. Then Tyler discovered something hidden beneath a loose floorboard. A notebook. Its pages were yellow with age. Most entries described strange sightings within Black Hollow Forest. Shadowy figures. Voices in the darkness. Missing people. Then Ethan found a final entry dated nearly 40 years earlier. The handwriting trembled across the page. "If you are reading this, do not follow the whistles. Do not look into the trees when you hear your name. Most importantly, if you see the watcher, do not let it know you can see it. It learns. It follows. And once it notices you, it never stops." The final sentence ended abruptly. as though the writer never finished. Suddenly a loud knock echoed through the cabin. Everyone froze. Knock, knock, knock. The sound came from outside. Not the door, the wall. Something was tapping directly on the cabin itself. A second knock followed. Then another. The tapping moved around the structure, slowly circling. The friends listened in terrified silence. The sound stopped beneath a window. Then they heard breathing. Heavy breathing. Just outside the glass. Tyler carefully raised his flashlight. The beam illuminated the window. For a split second, something stood outside. Tall. Unnaturally tall. Its head nearly reached the roof. Long pale arms hung at its sides. And its eyes reflected the flashlight like an animal staring into the dark. The creature vanished instantly. Sarah screamed. The knocking returned. This time from every side of the cabin at once. Knock, 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 knock. The walls shook violently. The windows rattled. The sound grew louder and louder until it felt as if dozens of hands were pounding on the cabin. Then everything stopped. Complete silence. For several seconds, nobody moved. Then a voice whispered from outside. A familiar voice. Jake's voice. Guys, help me. Sarah rushed toward the door. Ethan grabbed her arm. Something wasn't right. Jake sounded wrong. His voice was slow, distorted, as if someone were trying to imitate him. The voice came again. Closer this time. Please, let me in. Then another voice joined it. The old man's voice. Then another. And another. Dozens of voices began speaking from outside the cabin, all begging to be let inside. All sounding slightly wrong. All sounding less human with every word. And then, from somewhere beyond the trees, a long whistle echoed through Black Hollow Forest. The same whistle Jake had followed into the darkness. The same whistle, now moving closer. And closer. And closer.